Steve here with Integra Technologies. In this short video, we'll go ahead and walk through a step within a lot. In this walkthrough example, we're going to go ahead and look at lot 155130, step 2. Our sample size is 100 devices, and we will be testing all 100 devices. The PDA for this step is 5%. PDA stands for percent defective allowable. This is the number of devices that can fail without having to retest devices. The step note reads, retest all bin 8 if fails PDA. Basically, what this means is if we fail PDA, we will need to retest all bin 8 devices. The first operator comes in and they start with 100 not tested devices. They will test 20 devices. They'll have 12 devices pass, 5 bin 2 fails, 0 bin 3 fails, and 3 bin 8 fails. Operator 2 comes in and they have 80 not tested devices. They test 20 devices with 15 passes, 0 bin 2s, 0 bin 3s, and 5 bin 8 devices. So the question I have is, what is operator 2's sample size? Well, 100. This is because operator 2 is on the same step as operator 1. The not tested and the sample size aren't always the same number. Remember, sample size is the previous step's passes, not the previous operators not tested. Operator 3 comes in and they now have 60 not tested devices. They will also test 20 devices with 10 passes, 1 bin 2, 3 bin 3, and 6 bin 8 devices. Again, my question here is, what is operator 3's sample size? Well, it's still 100. This is because operator 3 is on the same step as operator 1 and operator 2. Remember, sample size is the previous step's passes, not the previous operators not tested. Now, operator 4 comes in and they have 40 not tested devices. They will also test 20 devices, and in doing so they have 8 passes, 1 bin 2, 3 bin 3, and 8 bin 8 devices. So again, my question is, what is operator 4's sample size? And again, it is 100. This is because operator 4 is on the same step as operators 1, 2, and 3. Remember, sample size is the previous step's passes, not the previous operators not tested. Operator 5 will now come in. They have 20 not tested devices, and they will test the remaining 20 devices. All 20 devices will pass. So now the question I have is, did we finish step 2? The answer would be no. We need to actually look at our PDA and our retest rules. When looking at our PDA, we can see that it is 5% and our sample size is 100. So if we take 100 and multiply it by our 5% PDA, this would give us an acceptable allowance of 5 devices, meaning that we could fail up to 5 devices without having to do the retest. So now we'll look at the retest rule and see that we need to retest all of bin 8s, meaning we have to retest 22 devices. Since we've determined that a retest is needed, operator 6 comes in and they actually have 22 not tested devices due to what our notes state. They, however, will only test 18 devices with 9 devices passing and 9 devices failing bin 8. So now my question is, what is operator 6's sample size? Well, it's still 100. This is because operator 6 is still in the same step as the previous operators. The only difference is they are doing the retest portion of this step. Operator 7 will now come in, and they have 4 devices that are not tested. They will go ahead and test the remaining 4 devices. However, all devices will end up failing bin 8. So my last question is, have we completed step 2? The answer is yes. Even though we have failed PDA yet again, we have completed the original test step and the retest portion of the step per the notes. This now becomes an FV. FV stands for failure verification and will be given to the sustaining engineering department to work through. Again, Steve here with Integra Technologies, and thank you for taking the time to watch this short video on the walkthrough of a step within a lot. Keep an eye out for additional training videos.